Anuki fi pa ashuk shil kolom wakulu ashuk kalon fi ni. Anuki faragun shil kolom wakulu kalon faragun shil ni. Anuki wahed ka kolom wakulu kalon wahed ka ni. Nuk aikilu anjihu kama faragun shil kolom wakub kama fariyudun. Nuk aikilu akwenu kuldek nuk akuzi fi kolom. Kama tawul kama kafuzi kalolia amidu fi kolom. Anuki kabaha wahud. Kulum kalun anuki kolum yakul nuk aikilu. Kulum dora nuk abmilu. Yes, Ancient Aliens, Volume 1, I'm about to kick off, yeah? The pilot. So let's see who joins in. And I'm jumping this thing off anyway, you know how I roll. Yeah, guys. So we're gonna talk about aliens from a black person's perspective because I'm a fan of Ancient Aliens, but you have to watch it with a filter because you know everything they're saying is coming from a Eurocentric, white supremacist perspective. So I thought to myself over the last couple of weeks, it would be brilliant if there was an Asian Aliens, but a black version coming from a black perspective. So I really started thinking about doing that for myself. So without further ado, my eyesight's so bad. Shout out to Chandra, yeah? I'm going to speak about this, and then after, later on about 9 o'clock, I'm going to run a presentation. I already was nearly finished the presentation. I just got a touch to do on the end and record it. I'm going to run that about, let's say, somewhere between 9 and 10 o'clock UK time. But yeah, I want to talk about Asian Aliens from a melanated perspective, a native indigenous perspective. And I want to start at the start and run up as quick as we can. We're not timed on YouTube, so it's a bit better, yeah. So it should allow me the time to just run through briefly from then till now to say, okay, these aliens, yeah, when did it start? Obviously, Chandra, you know this is started from the beginning, from before man was even knew he was man. Yeah, there's been other entities who's had a hand in us being here. We were seeded here, right? So we want to talk about all that in this pilot episode. And then after, hopefully, if we get enough interest in what we're doing, I should have promoted it a bit better. I didn't even go on Instagram and tell people I'm going to go live. But it's all good. I'm just going to leave it sitting here. And then I'll promote the presentation. Whoever comes to the presentation, they can come back to the live if they want. But yeah, after the pilot, hopefully, we'll take all of these aliens one by one and speak about them, because I know for a fact what I'm about to say is about to be different than what everybody else is saying. Because as far as I can see, and I do stay in touch with what perspectives are being thrown about, yeah, as far as I can see, I ain't heard this perspective, and this is coming from hard research. So before I start, I'm going to recommend my book, yeah, What Side of History, yeah, the supernatural origins of man, simply because I've got a copy right here with me. This book is mouth-watering every time I open it. From the first page when I read it, I'm like, oh, this is crazy. And this is like the first book where I tell you a bit about myself in the start. Where I say, yo, let me tell you a little about myself and give you a bit of my background and then launch into it. This is a special book, man. Treasures in the Sun is like a history book. No disrespect, I love that book. But this book is not just a history book. This goes behind the history. What's the history of history? Which is culture. You understand? So this is a real cosmic cultured book. And what I'm about to say is going to give you a new definition of the word cosmic, yeah? Reload that tune. Yeah, so Project Blue Rock, yeah? If you can't hear me, please put on the screen that you can't hear me, Chandra, yeah? So I can address it and I'll turn the backing down. But my life is like a soundtrack, so I like to speak with music behind me, yeah? But Project Blue Rock, yeah, if we go back 24 billion, according to the tablets, billion years, 24 billion years ago, Nibiru came round this neck of the woods on one of its orbits, and it says on one of its orbits, which was first 25,920 years, which is one galactic year. You know when the sun goes through all the zodiacs? You know all that, you've heard it before, yeah? So on one of its normal circuits, it came around here and caused a massive crash, yeah? Sounds good, okay, respect, yeah? They had a massive crash into what was then called Tiamat, yeah? And apparently it smashed off the bottom half of Tiamat. When we look at this Nos Confundum map, it's literally showing a flat surface with a dome over it. So this kind of adds up to that story when it's saying, okay, the bottom half was smashed off. Obviously, we know there's a hollow earth and there's more realms outside and stuff, but ultimately there's not a big chunk of earth underneath the earth according to what this tablet says. It does say, go on to say, okay, they stayed back and fixed it, and fixed the bottom half that was smashed and rendered it into what we call today Earth. You understand what I'm saying? And we've been given this globe Earth model. But anyway, this happened 24 billion years ago, yeah, on one of its circuits, which was 25,920 years, one galactic year, or an arm, yeah? And it crashed into Tiamat, which meant maiden of life. It was a water planet, had a bunch of reptilians and other type of humanoid reptilian type of beings on here, yeah? And the bottom half of it was smashed off, yeah? What was I going to say here? Yeah, so we have to consider now, when this happened, yeah, they're giving us now this globe Earth model, but I don't really go by the globe Earth model no more, as you know, yeah? So we're going by this Nos Confundum map, yeah? And saying, okay, well, it's smashed into the dome, because if you go back into the Anunnaki story, it says Tarnush attack their world with a shield depleter and smash their dome or their atmosphere and expose them to their sun. And so they had to leave Iluin or Risk, yeah, their planet Risk, and go and look for other worlds to live in. So if you go behind the 9 ball, which Dr. York was trying to get us to look behind, you can see how it all adds up. But anyway, the bottom half of the earth was smashed off. They stayed back to fix it. And when they stayed back to fix it, the cycle that was 25,920 years, that changed now. That's gone smaller. It's gone down to 3,600 years, which is one Shah. 3,600 years to go to Iluin, and 3,600 years to come back to Earth. So 720 years. But one Shah is 3,600 years. That's basically what they say, and how the ancient Sumerian kings used to measure their reign by, yeah? So when we go back into the story now, the Anunnaki, they came from Pegasus. They was in a constellation before. I can't remember what it was called right now. If you go on Young Elders page, it will tell you what it's called. But then after that, it starts with D, yeah? That constellation, they left there and they went to the Pegasus. And when they went to the Pegasus, they found insect beings there. And no, when they went to the Pegasus, Anshar was the Anu who was in control. Now, these are supreme beings. We call them aliens today, or extraterrestrials. Hollywood's giving us this image. As soon as we say aliens, first we think about like reptilians, greys, E.T., like looking Zeta Reticulum, like looking kind of aliens. We don't necessarily think humans when we hear the word aliens, yeah. But these same humanoid beings we're talking about here, when you're talking about Nibiru and Anunnaki and stuff, this book kind of shows you that you have to get behind the word God, this word God delusion, because really it's just humans from other surface worlds. When you look at that Nos Confundum map, every one of them circle worlds has life in it. A lot of them are humans just like us. When I say just like us, they're not from here, this known world, but they're still from this earth realm, from this plane, yeah? So there's various different crops of humans all over this bitch. And there's different type of beings who are not human, who you would consider bastard. That's a reptilian, or that's a grey, or that's a, you understand? But now imagine how much different types of beings are here. So when we're talking about Anunnakis, we've been spellbound and trapped in this chicken farm. So we're looking at these beings that are just like us. Oh, these are gods. But they're just humans who are way more advanced than us. Do you understand? So to me, these Anunnakis came from over the ice wall. Because when you look out there and you're looking at Saturn and Jupiter and stuff, really you're just seeing the magnetic field of a dome. One of them surface worlds, and that's how it looks. When you're looking through that water in the firmament, yeah, it's going to look like some kind of ball. Yeah, yo, this is a ball thing. But that's really just a dome, and probably have a reflection underneath like water does. And it just looks like a big old planet. But yo, to me, they came from over the ice wall. Yeah, various different times in history. Yeah, and it's controlled, just like this navigator who crossed the ice walls tells us. Yeah. So anyway, we 24 billion years ago, and they started moving around the constellation till 66 billion years ago. Yeah, they leave Pegasus. Yeah, and come to this Earth realm here. And this Earth realm here is apparently where they started when the first Anu was on the throne. By this time now, we're talking about the sixth Anu. Yeah. Greetings, family. Yeah. We're talking about the sixth Anu by now. Yeah. So during the first Anu, he was all they was around in this realm. Yeah, in this constellation with this Earth and this Sun and all of that stuff. But anyway, and when they gone full circle, 66 billion years ago, they end up back here because a war had started in the Pegasus when the Most High Supreme Being or alien, yeah, they had a he had a feeling, yo, I want to create new life. We've gone through this before in the Anunnaki Dissected, so I'm not going to repeat myself. I'm just reminding you guys. Yeah, I'm going to create new life. He got his scientists, yo, create some new life and stuff. They created the dragonfly. Yeah, his scientist, his top scientist was his sister named Mother Huber or Mother Huber. Yeah, and she created the dragonfly. And from the dragonfly, there was some like million insects that they created from these dragonflies. But then 200,000 of these things that they created, like different insects and shit, started evoluting on themselves. They started changing on themselves. And some of them became like pests, like when you say the wasp that would sting you, or the hornet, and certain different things, scorpion, rare. So imagine these beings on a massive scale now, like car size and stuff. And you know how they multiply insects until they just took over the Pegasus, and a war started with these insects. So 66,000 years ago, they had to flee. While they fled now, they start creating other species to counteract these insects. So out of these insects now, you get the bird beings, yeah? Or it might be the other way around, where it's the bird beings first and then the insect beings. But anyway, birds eat insects. So we was using the bird beings to help us fight these insects. All of this shit's in Star Wars for you. Don't worry, I'm going to bring it up to date, yeah? All of this shit's in Star Wars and Star Trek and V and Stargate and all of this shit, yeah? But anyway, we're having these wars. Eventually we won because we created these bird beings, Mother Huber, yeah? And we created these reptilian beings, certain little frogmen beings like the Maldekians and stuff, and then you cross them with the birds, and then you get now Dragonians, or what we call it, Alpha Draconians. To make a long story short, Mother Huber had bad intentions, and so her created species of Dragonian reptilian she made into an army for herself, yeah, to take her brother, the Anu of that time, Anshar, off the throne, yeah. During this time now, there's certain various different beings that have been created. And then certain beings like the reptilians go and do their own creation, or I should say making. Go and fiddle about with other species and crossbreed other species and stuff, and start making up their own shits like Aldebarans and stuff. But let me stick to what I'm saying here, yeah? So now you got wars going on in the constellation. Insect beings against humanoid Anunnakis from the Lyra or Iluin if you want, yeah? From the time of the other Anu, the previous Anu, Anshar, and his wife Kishar, yeah? And then after you have the Raziel, or the Anu that's on the throne now. But all of this time they've been fighting against these insect beings and these reptilian beings under Mother Huber, who now dwell in the world of Draco, yeah? So this started peaking 66 billion years ago. And that's when the Galactic Federation was founded. We said, yo, we have to now, all of these 22 species, how are we going to get together and troubleshoot what the hell's going on here? We need some laws. Sorry, let me see what you said there. We need some laws and stuff to govern what's going on. Greetings. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just a free-for-all. Anybody's doing anything. Yeah. So now the Galactic Federation was created with 24 species from 24 different worlds. All of them circle worlds beyond the ice wall. You got, like I said, different crops of humans and different beings. And the 23 most prominent species of this area, because we don't know where it ends, it could be never ended. Yeah, they came together to form this council against Mother Huber and the reptilians and stuff, and to try and pacify them. At first it was working, that they had the reptilians also on this council to satisfy everyone. And then when the reptilians started breaking the rules and shit, and they got kicked off the council, they formed their own Galactic Federation. So you've got more than one Galactic Federation at this moment. At first it was just one, with 23 different species. And the project was this circuit world, surface world here, Project Blue Rock. And yo, us humans, we're gonna have the DNA of all 24 species from genetic manipulation. And we have the spirit of the Most High breathed inside us. So we've got something greater than them because they already met us as pure soul beings and then manufactured, dumbed us down into this shit here. But they can't get rid of the connection we have to the source energy. You understand? We're not NPCs. We're source players, yeah? We have the connection to the divine, to deity. And that's what is like gold to them. But they can't afford to let that go. These aliens that you see all around. So if you notice, I've been posting a lot on my social media because I'm at a war. I'm in war with these fucking aliens. They're trying to shut me down, man. So yeah, in our Bible class, we read about King Gilgamesh and his part in the alien story. This is talking about these same Anunnakis who now, after having made humans, started mixing with the humans, lusting after the humans. It was about fertility. Yo, this manipulation that we've created here now, or made, I should say, yeah, is more fertile than anything we've ever made. We can mix with this and use the DNA to boost our own species and stuff. So they trying to like Dracula us. They want to use all of our genetic shit and all of our soul and attachment, connection to the source energy and vamp off it. All of these different species for their own different purposes. So now the connection here is when we go back to religion. When you hear religions talking about gods, this god Osiris, and this god Enki, and this god Lord Pakal, and this god Quetzalcoatl, and this god Kukulkan, and this yo, they talking about aliens, extraterrestrials, and them extraterrestrials created them religions that your ass is under, talking about God with this God delusion, because the Most High Anu, he don't need nobody to worship him. Picture like Avengers when they say, okay, who's the most powerful being in the whole Marvel universe? Okay, Thanos. Nobody can mess with Thanos. When he puts that glove on his peak, yeah? Now think of Anu. He don't need a religion. He's Anu anyway. Whether you want to give him reverence or not, the fact that his divine spirit is inside of you, that's up to you. It's not going to change anything to do with Anu. Anu's still Anu. Do you understand? Like Thanos, you might not believe, oh, Thanos is coming, oh, easy, okay. And then when he comes down and throws a smackdown, it's like, bastard, no one can fight my man. We're only going to have to team up on the dude. It's sort of like that. So Anu doesn't need a religion. God don't have a religion. God don't have a need for you to sit down and pray and grovel on your knees and all that type of shit like these religions is trying to tell you. He don't need that. He's needless, yeah? You need to show reverence if you want to have a good alignment with this universe, because it's him that keeps this universe in balance, because he had to earn that position. Like, who's the most wisest being in this whole universe? Who's the most strongest? Who's the most smartest? Who can create the most peace? Who's the most merciful? All that shit, they have a competition to determine that shit. So it doesn't matter if you believe it or not. The same with reptilians or greys or aliens, UFOs. It don't matter. Because what you believe it's not going to change the truth. You understand? The people who are running your countries, they believe in this shit. Do you understand? Your Elon Musk, your Mark Zuckerberg, your Arabs in the Middle East, your Pope with his devil telescope and meeting all of these spirits and spooks. They believe in that shit. CERN, heart. So it really don't matter what you believe. That shit's still going to affect your ass. And this is what my message is to my people. I'm not trying to make you believe me or not. I'm trying to show you what these niggas believe and as to why they're moving mad like the way they're moving. Because that's their spirituality. That's their faith. You understand what I'm saying? That's who they give reverence to, this Luciferian take over the world, get rid of fucking humans, and we'll make our own crop of humans, clones and shit. I've been telling people this, yeah? Y'all still with me, yeah? So like I'm saying now, that space business with planets and stuff, that's dead. Aliens don't come from space. Aliens come from hollow earth and from over the fucking ice wall. Period. Yeah? Because all of that CGI globe earth shit we've seen now, man. We've exposed this on our page. Like how they just took, let's say someone cut England out, yeah, and stretched it, yeah, around one board, just England, yeah, or let's say just the British Isles, England, Scotland, Wales, Republic of Ireland, yeah, and just stretched it around a board and told you that's a map of the world, the globe, and that's all the land on there, just the British Isles. And that's the North Pole and that's the South Pole. and you would have no way of knowing any different. You understand? Nobody would have no way of knowing, and that's literally what they did with that Nos Confunding map. They just snatched out the known world and stretched it around a globe and told you that's the whole earth. That's not the whole earth. And that's why Admiral Byrd and them can tell you, nigga, I flew north or wherever the hell he flew, and I flew through summer and I was in the next world, rude boy. That's what he said. Or I went in a boat, like William Morris says in his Navigator book, yeah, and the thing pulled us through and I seen a sea bigger than our sea, bigger than the Atlantic and Pacific and shit. That niggas pulled up in a big ass boat, all dressed in this mad ass uniform, saying, yo, we ain't seen humans from that side of the ice wall in like 500 years, nigga. Do you understand? And we out here still clowning about. We out here on some clown shit. Anyway, let me stick to this, yeah. So after this war in the Riskians, the humanoid Anunnakis, the black people Anunnakis, after their war with these Vulcans, which is humanoid reptilians, yeah? They don't look like reptilians, they look like humanoids, but they're Mother Hubbard's royal family. Like, they've got her blood, they're fucking reptilians that's mixed with Riskian and shit. You understand? So they like the royal house, the Vulcans, yeah? And they the vampires, V Empire or V Empire, Vulcan Empire. These are the top of the league for these reptilians, not the snake-looking niggas. The niggas that look like me and you. Do you understand? So they infiltrated the Anunnaki Riskians world and started a war. Do you understand? And like I said, the Riskians, the benevolent ones, they became a diaspora species as to why we had to be manipulated into existence in the first place. Yeah? Now, was it good? Was it bad? That's for you to decide. Certain people say, yo, we was good without these Riskians coming here and manipulating us and mixing their DNA with us and shit. We was already high vibrational beings with psychic powers and the whole shit. And they came and made us into this to suit their needs, not to suit our needs. So whether you want to sit down here and grovel to Allah and all these gods, Yahweh, who are aliens, they're alien gods. Nigga, you're a god. Do you understand? Because you have their DNA and other aliens' DNA in you. You're powerfuler than them. It's not a joke thing, and I'm not trying to tell you to develop a big ego, but I'm saying don't give away your divinity to no one. Yes, you give reverence to the benevolent Dingir who gave us the higher power, yeah? But we don't give away our divinity to no one. That's not how we roll. It's an alien thing going on Earth. You understand what I'm saying? And it always has been. Whether it's Elijah in you seen his fucking chariot of fire, or Ezekiel seen his wheel, yeah, or Ninurta or Ishtar in their sky chambers and shit like that. It's all aliens, yeah? And none of these religions was brave enough to tell us. They just spooked us out. Oh, angels with wings and shit. Nigga, a wing is a UFO. If it says the angel Gabriel came in 6 wings, that's telling me, yo, this nigga got 6 UFOs. It's better that I believe that, because I can get at least circumstantial evidence to say, look, there's UFOs everywhere, rude boy. That's beyond a shadow of a doubt for me. Yeah, you show me flying donkeys and shit, and men floating out the sky with wings on their back and shit. You probably can show me that on CGI on Facebook or some shit, but that's not real. Do you understand, nigga? We can show footage of real UFOs that we don't even have to go back to 1947 Roswell and all that shit. We can go to last week or yesterday. Do you know what I'm saying? So this is what the Bible's been saying, the Torah's been saying, the Quran's been saying, all the Gnostic Gospels have been saying, like the Nag Hammadi text. The Book of Enoch, the Book of Giants, you understand, the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Emerald Tablets. What do these books say? The sons of light and the sons of darkness, angels and demons, yeah, or serpent-headed men, yeah. And today we talking about reptilians like David Icke made up the shit, nigga. It's in all the ancient texts. Quetzalcoatl, the plumed serpent, or the eagle snake, same thing. You understand? So this Galactic Federation became bust down the middle. Like we spoke about this before, the Galactic Federation, yeah, and the Galactic Republic, yeah. And then that Galactic Republic, they was creating their own monstrosities or making their own monstrosities that resulted in beings like the Alabarans and the Hindus and shit who come out bleached out without melanin and stuff and recessive genes, yeah. And they were breeding them like chickens and eating them niggas. And some of them niggas is not evil. Some of them, they good. They went on to become their own entities and they're good people. Not all of them are evil. So the good ones are fighting against these reptilians and shit. But anyway, they end up coming to places like the Pleiades world, and took that shit over from the black people who was already there. Yeah, Rizkians and otherwise. And this is this, whether you want to call it Star Wars, if you still believe in stars and stuff like that, in them terms, that's what's been going on. So let me speed up. From this galactic project, yeah, so we're talking now, when they said in our records that Anunnakis came here 450,000 years ago. So let's say 500,000 years ago, yeah, they starting up this Homo sapien project where they upgrading Homo erectus by using their DNA and splicing it with the Homo erectus so they can have children that are acclimatized to this surface world, because every surface world has got a different climate. You might dead ras if you go in the wrong world. Your body's not even, your meat suit ain't built for that shit. That shit might have in the air, it's ammonia. That's what their air is. You understand what I'm saying? Or their water is lighter fuel. Like, you don't know. You understand? So when they first came here, they couldn't live here. They was like, bastard, they breathe in ether and breathe out hydrogen. Yeah? We breathe in hydrogen and we breathe in oxygen and breathe out things. Some other surface worlds, they breathe in hydrogen and breathe out helium. Do you understand? We breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. It's different. So if you're not, it's like you underwater. You try and breathe underwater, you ain't got no gills, nigga. You're gonna need some gills. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, there are humanoid beings that have got gills, but we ain't got that shit to be breathing underwater. It's the same with certain surface worlds and the different densities and pressure that's in there. You understand what I'm saying? So they came here and they terraformed this surface world and dumbed it down and smashed the ice wall around it. Yo, build up the ice wall around it. Yeah. Chop out a little piece, put it around a ball. Yeah. Put the South Pole at the bottom and the North Pole at the top, and tell them all in school, that's the globe. That's the whole wide world. Yeah. Nigga, the world is a stage. The world's bigger than that. These 7 continents ain't shit, bro. There's 178 circle worlds outside of these ice walls, and every one of them have got flat plains. You understand? There's no globe Earth, what they told you. No. And I'm not saying we can't be on some kind of curvature, but I'm saying all of these surface worlds, there's no way you can register no curvature. The shit's flat with a geodetic dome over it, truncated geodetic dome over it, or a firmament, or what the Bible calls a rakia. Yeah, in the Aramaic, the Proto-Hebrew. And the rakia means firmament. And that's Genesis 1, verses 7 to 9. Yeah. So these geodesic domes, when you're looking out through our dome, the reflection or whatever it is, and the magnetic field makes it look like a Ross-Clark planet. Yeah. And we think, oh, look, Saturn, that's a planet. If we float in space, yeah, all the way over there, yeah, nah, nigga, that's another surface world. That if you went beyond the ice wall, you could walk there, Ross Clark. And the shit goes on and on and on. And when you look up in the sky, because everything's in the field of consciousness or the ether, that's the canopy that it plays out for you. But if you could see behind the 9 ball by using your third eye, you will realize, hold on, now I understand how this shit's a whole holographic illusion, man. Yeah, and niggas just go through some cave and shit and just end up in another world, you know, like the Lion, Witch and the Wardrobe. You just fucked around and pulled open the wrong door and ran through there. Yo, discovery! And you found your ass in some different world, like we was reading in the story of Gilgamesh. Crystals that have leaves and shit, man. Stones, precious stones that bear fruits and stuff, like in the story of Gilgamesh, yeah? Man went to some next world, yeah? Holographic skies, that's why now we can see so many videos with the glitches in the sky, like birds that are just stuck, or the planes are stuck, the sky's just glitching, man, or funny clouds, or a shadow from the sky, and there ain't nothing in the sky. Where's the shadow coming from? Like, this whole shit's a CGI hologram. Even us, but we're source players that have been manipulated. Now, the majority of people, they're NPC players who the aliens have put in here. So there's nothing you can tell them of this discussion or consciousness or the awakening or aliens or none of that Illuminati type shit. They're not programmed for that. They're programmed to make your life harder and to make your realization and come into your godhood harder and make you feel like you're just a human. You're a human like they told you. This word human ain't even in the scriptures. The word is man or Adama. But they came up with these new words and said, you're a human. That's what you are. Yeah? Some kind of monster or whatever it means in their English. Yeah? So people like The first people, they brought them from a different surface world. Black people called the Khoisan. And they brought them people over the ice wall here. And from them people, they made the first Homo sapiens that was mixed with their DNA. And them Khoisan, they have insect DNA. That's why a lot of them, if you study their faces and stuff, you can see the angles and stuff. Oh, my man look a bit like an insect being. But from them, they created with their DNA mixed in and black Hindu DNA mixed in, Watusi. Yeah, they created what's called Anu. First, they created Anu people, the Tar people, and then they created the taller people, Watusi people, and then they mixed all the three together, mixed in their DNA, and boom, there's your Homo sapien, me and you. Do you understand what I'm saying? There was about 5 different species or 6 that was used in the creation of what you want to call Adam and Eve. And they weren't the first people. That was when the Anunnaki came and downgraded the whole shit to suit their schedule. You can't have too much power, nigga. Enki trying to make you niggas have retain too much power and give us some more power. Nah, nigga, we're not having that. We're gonna dumb your ass down. Genesis 3:22. Yeah, look, the man has become like one of us. Us who? Who's the us? It's the fucking aliens. If you wanna say God, yeah, oh, it's God. Well, who's God talking to? Why didn't God say the man's become like me? And who the fuck's God talking to anyway? You understand what I'm saying? This is a bunch of aliens, yeah, who don't have your best interests at heart and told you, you got to worship me or I'm going to throw you in the fire. That's how they rolling. They know you're working off the psychology of fear. So you've got a psychosis. So most people can't listen to what Jedefre say. Yo, family, friends, yo, I don't want to listen to my man. He's going to make me have to look at my religion. I don't want to look at my religion like that. I'd rather fight man, argue with man, than listen to man. It's really like that. You understand what I'm saying? But like I tell people, I came down here for this smoke to show people that these things are hoax. And if people really felt like that, they should just come with a decent rebuttal and make me look daft, like I'm not talking about nothing. You understand? Because if it's like that, they should just be able to come and just brush me aside then. Yeah, with a rebuttal, not with emotions, and show receipts, because that's what we do on the daily. Yeah. So these Afar people, Nubian people, Twa people was made out of the downgrades of the Anunnakis. Yeah, and I stress that Enki did try and give a certain, yo, let's retain this and give them, yeah, but he got overridden. Yo, shut up, bruv. Then man came and took over the thing and said, listen, we're dumbing these niggas down, Genesis 3:22. And so by Genesis 4:26, in the story of Enos now, when you go 3 generations down into this man, yeah, he's now calling on beings outside of himself, and he ain't living the 930 years that the first one did, Adam. Now it's going down, yo, 800 in this, 700 in this, 600 in this, 500 in this. And what I'm trying to tell you guys is before these Anunnaki came, our life was 7,000 years. That's how long we was living in one vessel. Probably more. I'm saying naturally 7,000 years average. You understand? Some people maybe 9,000 years, some people maybe 10,000 years. Maybe we have technology that could make us, yo, 25,000 years, extend our shit. Yeah, they dumbed us down and made you feel like they just created you from scratch or created you from some dumb monkey. Yeah, and you should be thankful and get every day and, yo, God, thank you for this, thank you for that. Yeah, like I was saying to one person, it's all aliens, and if God answers your prayers, how come we don't answer everybody's prayers? You can't say, oh, God answered my prayers, because that says loads about God. If God answers your prayers, why don't God answer the prayers of all them poor babies who died? Or let's say these people who are trying to cross the English Channel and refugees and coming to England and they floating up in the English Channel dying in the cold water and shit. They praying to God. They calling on Allah or Yahweh or God or whoever. Yeah. And they trying to come here looking for a better life. So why don't God answer their prayers? How come he answers your prayers? Are you more important? You who say God answers your prayers. Are you more important than all the people who call upon God, all the people in war, yeah, who their God failed them because God never answered? So how can anybody say, yeah, God answers my prayers? That shows a massive ego. Why is God answering your prayers? Why is your prayers so urgent for God to answer? Look how much fuckery is going on in the earth. There's people who need God more than me and you do. So if God's answering your prayers, how come God ain't answering everyone's prayers? And I stress I'm giving you the religion with this alien shit because I'm trying to show you it's them who came up with this bullshit to keep us in this 10% brain trap. Oh God, this God thing is a delusion. Yeah? Anu isn't God. Anu is the most high out of all beings. the most powerful being. He don't need you to see him as a god or nothing. All you need to do is show respect. Yo, I respect the Most High. I know who the Most High is. Yeah, I'd be a fool not to respect the Most High knowing what I know. It's like one of them Avengers saying, yo, fuck Thanos. Yeah, all of them are going to say, bastard shit. Who, Thanos? Yo, that's a problem. You have to respect that, however you feel about it. Do you understand? Anu, Antum, the male and the female, boom, they're the powerfulest thing with their whole thing going on. Yeah, but it doesn't mean everything's nice. Nigga, they got an army in heaven. If they got an army in heaven, that means they go to war in heaven. Who do they go to war against? Other motherfuckers. Like Revelation 12, 7 to 9 tells you. Revelation 12, chapter 12, verses 7 to 9. And Michael and his angels went to war against the dragon and his angels. Okay, so these niggas have war in heaven. Hold on, but the pastor said heaven's just some happy place where you sit down on some cloud forever. I'll probably get fat as an, yo, no gym, not in what? Is there gym in heaven? Can I go gym? I like, yo, imagine I just go to heaven and sit somewhere forever. Doing what? Nah, nigga, there's war in heaven. Yeah? Michael and his angels versus the dragon. Who's the dragon? Nigga, they talking about Alpha Draconians, aliens, yeah? So you got all these different beings that are created from this galactic council of 23 different aliens. And this galactic council is fighting in themselves. They having civil war among themselves. Certain aliens feel this way about humans. Certain aliens feel this way about this surface world. They're having a clash over the booty, over the spoils of this shit. Whoever wins, just like in the army colonizers, they determine what shit is. They agree on a bunch of shit. Nigga, that's history. Nigga, this is your map. Here's your world. This is what you are. This is what he is. Yeah, this is what time it is. This is the calendar. These are your religions. Here's your choice. They give you this illusion of choice. But you want a chicken farm. Yeah? When you study chickens, that's exactly how we living in this society. It just looks nice for us. Because you can go to the park, or you can go to the pub, you can go to the movies, you know, you can go to the fucking brothel. You understand? You think you're free, nigga, you on a chicken farm. They cut out a little piece of the map and told you that's the whole world. Most of us never even leave our country. Yeah, you got aliens in the government. Yeah, you got aliens in corporate stuff, big pharma, medicine. Yeah, music, sports. Yeah, literally everything. They are running the thing. Yeah, and we down here still can't see. Even though we've got these books of Babel, it should be enough for us. We should be smart and learned enough to be able to read through all of that and grab out what we need to say, bastard, I can paint a picture of the now. Yeah? And so these people on this galactic council are people like the Aldebarans, or if you want to call them tall whites, Pleiadians, Greys, and you got different types of Greys like Ramadians, you got Markabians. Ramadians are benevolent to humans. Markabians are not benevolent to humans. You see what I'm saying? You've got Zeta Reticulans who are taller Greys, can go to 7 foot and stuff. You've got Dunakian, you've got Tiros, you've got Deros, you've got Tologians, you've got Riskians, you understand? You've got Vulcans, you've got Hindus, you've got Watusis. We've got all these 24 different species on this galactic council, yeah? And some of them now, you hear the names coming up. Like one group broke off from the Republic and made another group called Ashtar Command. You see them going around, tall whites, Pleiadians, blonde hair, blue eyes, flying around talking about they're peaceful to humanity and making a bad name for all other Pleiadians. They call them the Nordics, yeah? But all of them people were working with Jacob. When you go into the Jacob story, which goes back to, hold on, I'm going to tell you, 6,000 BC, because it's 2,800 years before the birth of Canaan. Canaan's birth was 4004 BC, yeah? So add on the 2000, we're talking about 6004 BC, yeah? And then add on 800, yeah? So that's how far ago this Jacob thing was, where he made what's called these Flugel lords, or these Flugelrods, or what you call Halabian, or what you call Huluk, who were basically the Nordic caveman, the first cavemen who came with this Aldebaran blood, with this Pleiadian blood. So when you're watching Ancient Aliens, they keep telling you about the Pleiades, the 7 stars of Pleiades. They more obsessed with that. Then that's how they go on about Pleiades, as how our ancestors went on about Orion and Sirius, yeah? Obviously, we recognize Pleiades in different places too, but our home away from home was Orion and Sirius, right outside our original home, which is Lyra. So they was our first two stop-offs. Like, so all our shit was like, yeah, man, our ancestry from Sirius and the black gods from Orion and stuff. Do you understand what I'm saying? But the Mzungu, they do it with the Pleiades, because the Pleiades is where these Al-Labaran groups went and formed their Ashtar Command and took that shit over. Yeah, and now you've got them working with the American government. They came down here, they was working with Hitler and them at certain times to the reptilians, and then took over Hitler and them. Yeah, but like I said, they bought uh, humans from other surface worlds, about 23 different species, and they only ended up using one as the model for the Adam of this surface world, yeah, to make this modern day Homo sapien, yeah. So now you got institutions like NASA, SETI, the CIA, FBI, built up right around the Roswell incident, which was 1947. And I stress throughout all the time, there's no gaps. I'm just squashing it down, yeah? Because I want to get to this presentation. It's better when I can show you pictures. I just wanted to do this to warm myself up, because then I can just record this presentation easy, yeah? Take me about an hour. But yeah, you get all these groups and secret societies which are so interested in ancient aliens, yeah? They study the pyramids and the ancient gods, because they know these ancient gods are simply just extraterrestrials or ancient astronauts who came here and started civilizations. So now you see on my TZT page with the Saddam thing, how he says, yo, I'm the second Nebuchadnezzar with his Stargate thing. Even they've gone even further with it, where he thought, I'm going to be the New Age Nebuchadnezzar, yeah, and I'm inscribing my name on all the bricks, and rebuilding like the Temple of Nanasin and the Babylon. I'm going to have a new Babylon. I got a Stargate. He was all into that stuff of the story in the Bible with the three Israelites who got chucked in the fire. They tell you in the Bible it was a fire. Yeah, who is it? Shadrach, Meshach, and I think it's Abednego, three. And they got dashed in the fire, and the angel was supposed to have come in the fire and protected them in the fire. The Bible's sugarcoating a different story. The real story, according to Iraq and Saddam and them, is that Saddam had a Stargate, and it's not talking about a fire. He sent three youths, Israelite youths, through this Stargate, and they came back with an extraterrestrial. An extraterrestrial came back with them. So Saddam and them were like, yo, we're going to restart this shit now and do this shit again. So that's what, like I was telling you, the war of Iraq was really about. When they caught wind of this shit, they was like, nigga, what? Yo, arms up the whole world of Mzungu. France, America, Britain, Germany, all of us, nigga, we going there, we taking that shit. We just tell the world, yo, it's oil, and my man's a terrorist. Yeah, we going and taking that technology. That's what the whole shit was about. And back then when I was saying it, obviously I didn't have all the little parts, but I was saying to people, yo, this nigga got a Stargate. And they found this shit in the 1920s, nigga. It weren't just no movie shit. Because people trying to tell me, oh, that's just some movie, Hollywood's. Nah, nigga, this was a Stargate. Read the paper, do the research, dig up the article. Yeah, and you'll see, bastard, this is a real, and it weren't even just one. But that was the oldest one that they found. They found one in Egypt under the pyramids with Osiris. But they said this one in Iraq was older. They said that's the oldest one, and that adds up because the Anunnakis are older than the Neteru. It's a mad thing. Yeah, hold on. So yeah, Jacob bred certain other beings who we call it now. I'm not gonna say Neanderthal. Neanderthal was already here. Yeah, but from Neanderthals and certain beings, he created his own species, which is the original caveman, the Flugelrod. Yeah, that. And all of them first were blonde-haired, blue-eyed, and still they started running out and mixing with, snatching women and mixing their seed with all the other beings to boost themselves. Obviously now they got all these different looks and shit. But first they was all pale as Flugelrods and shit, man. I'm sure I've got a couple of their pictures in my presentation. But like I was saying, they always had secret societies in religion that was guarding these secrets about aliens and shit. Those 6 miles of archives, what the Vatican's got and shit. I've got a priest saying, yo, he read stories about aliens, how they had a hand in human creation. He said he couldn't believe it. Some ex-Catholic dude. He said, yo, I couldn't believe it. Yeah. He read documents, they let him in. Yeah, that you have to like work there for some 10 years or whatever for the Vatican to even consider letting you into that archive. But they gave him the key and let him in, so he was one of them researchers. So you see, now he's retired. He says, yo, he got to look at some shit, yeah. And he says, yo, there was stuff about how aliens had their hand in our basically everything we're saying. Remember, with the veil's down, so all of it is coming out now. Yeah. So NASA, SETI, the CIA, FBI. The CIA's got a UFO desk. FBI's got a UFO desk. MI5 it's either MI5 or MI6. That's got a UFO desk. I think it's MI5. Yeah, the KGB, Mossad for the Israelis, Vatican Patrol. They've all got it. The UFO desk. And yo, you heard the Vatican say they're gonna turn aliens into Christians and all that bullshit. Yeah, and they have special interests, especially the CIA and FBI, into paranormal or extra sensory perception (ESP), paranormal, teleporting, um, psychometry, telekinesis. They invested heavily into this shit, and they still to this day try and cover it up. Like they made the Philadelphia experiment a movie. So when people talk about it, people just think, "Oh, that movie." Nah, nigga, I'm talking about 1943, the real event when they disappeared that Roscross ship with the 16 sailors on there, and then all of this UFO shit started because the thing went missing into hyperspace, and then it came and appeared like 30 miles somewhere else. Yeah, it weren't in Philadelphia no more because it was seen and recorded, pictured, and everything. The thing just popped up, spooked people out. How the shit just turned the fuck up? Like people were like, yo, obviously the people have recorded this shit. This shit just turned up. The USS Eldridge, bam, 1 minute blinked and it was just there. Some magic shit. So all that shit got recorded, and they try and scrub that out of history. Most of us don't do that type of research anyway. But it's there if you dig deep enough, yeah? So all them groups have got these special interests. The Russians, everyone, the Japs, the Chinese. The Chinese found in some caves what's called the Droba Stones. And if you go and research the Droba Stones, that's their version of the UFO shit. If you go to Russia now, they tell you about Siberia and the Russian Roswell that happened. They had their own Roswell incident where fucking UFO licked down one of their things. They tried to shoot the UFO. Yo, the UFO licked down the thing then. They have that. And here in England, we have our own Roswell, what's called Rendlesham Forest. Yeah? That happened around my birth time, the 80s. I'm giving away my age, yeah? And that was in an army base where this thing swarming the army. Army man are run to rescue. Yo, there's a UFO that and the thing's like stalking the army and that. Yeah, so all of this stuff comes into now times. If you go through all the medieval paintings and stuff, even through Tartarian history and stuff, there's always reference to little elves, fairies, little dragon-looking creatures with 3 heads. These niggas with their fucking, there's no heads. They got the face in their chest and shit, man. Yeah? And sometimes we say, oh, where are the giants? Where are these things if they exist? Nigga, they in another surface world. They gone beyond the ice wall. They ain't about to stay here in this crap. Like with what's going on with this world, how locked down it is in the chicken farm. They're like, yo, we ain't staying here. Let's get off. Now we know how to get off. Let's get off. And many of them left. Yeah? The ones that are here actually trying to help us, or they trapped. Some of them primitive ones and stuff. Yeah, or more regressed ones. But some of them are here trying to help us and trying to give us some, like when you hear about like Buddha and Yeshua and Dr. Malachi York to bring it into now time, or Noble Drew Ali, yeah, certain guys, to me, these niggas don't come from here. W.D. Fard, the original one, W. Fard Muhammad, the one before they replaced him. They don't come from here. They came here to try and show us, look, they sacrificing themselves. They come in here, this bad air, this bad food. Look at the food video I posted, man. Like they trying to shut me down for this video, this food video. Look what's in the food, gun. Look how much different examples. You know, today I ain't even ate properly. I can't even eat properly after that video. It's like, yo, what do you even eat? Yeah, it's a madness, yeah. But they've been doing this to us, yeah, and it's all been manufactured from a war that happened in the start over this prize, which is us humans. Now, as far as I can see it, we are like what that woman said. We're the walking peace treaty, because we've got everybody's DNA. We are more powerful than all of them, and so we are the solution to stop all of this shit forever. And they have a prophecy about it, just like we have prophecies and shit as humans. Them aliens have a prophecy, like, yo, there's gonna be a race or a species created, yeah, and they're gonna fucking stop the war forever. They're gonna be the peace treaty. And if you read in the Bible and Quran and all of that stuff, They always have that fear of us. Oh yeah, it'll be 1,000 years of peace, and everyone will turn their weapons into like agricultural tools and stuff. You remember that? Like that shit for real. Uh, so they're all interested in these things, especially ancient cultures and their gods. Like this is why they do it. They're not just fascinated. Oh, Osiris, Isis. These are aliens, and like I said, when we say aliens, we expect in our mind because of programming ET or a little grey. We're not thinking, okay, black ancestors like Necherus and Anunnakis that just look human and stuff, black. You understand? And the kings that came from them, all your Hammurabis and your Nebuchadnezzars and your Gilgameshes and your Nimrods and your Pharaoh this and your Pharaoh that and your Lord Pakal and your Quetzalcoatl and your Odin and your Thor in the Norse thing or your Zeus and your fucking Poseidon and you know what I'm saying? These are extraterrestrials or what we call supermen. And then they started mixing with the humans in this surface world who they had manipulated. They started mixing the seed on a Romeo and Juliet thing, yeah? And once they started mixing the seed, it resulted in what we're calling these Nephilim, like your King Gilgamesh and your King Nimrod or Sargon and your King Etana and all of these people. That's what it resulted in, yeah? So the secret societies, your Masons, your Illuminati, your Bavarians, your Nazi Fool Society, Vril Society, KGB, Mossad, yeah, all of these are interested, yeah, in these ancient cultures and the ancient gods and the ancient sites like the pyramids and stuff. I'm not going to tell you, they don't care what you believe. You can go to church every Sunday. You can baptize yourself every Sunday if you want. You can go and pray 20 times in the mosque if you want. They don't care about none of that. They care about this shit, what we're talking about here. And they don't want you to know about that stuff. They want you to tie this alien shit to some Project Bluebeam so that you're scared running around here like a headless chicken on the chicken farm because you haven't been prepared with the right knowledge. You know, hold on, they just doing that shit to stop the connection with the real gods because the real gods is coming back over the wall if you want to call them gods. They coming back here to help us because as far as they're concerned, yo, it's our fault. They're our children. And that's what the real story is. And they say, listen, when we've done dealt with what we're done, we're coming back for man. Yeah. And I always say, I like the people who never left, but it is what it is. If they're coming back and they're really about helping us, they can help us. If they're not, then I'll fight them too. Because I ain't about no God delusion no more. You understand? The God is inside. Yeah. Genesis 2, verse 7. Yeah, so sites like Baalbek in Lebanon with the big landing pad where Zachariah Sitchin and them made famous in their books and Eric von Daniken and all them, Graham Hancock kind of people. And they tell you about Baalbek, which was the landing port of the god, the sun god Shamash, the brother of Ishtar. He used to guard that pass there. If you needed a craft as a in Anunnaki, yo, I need to fly up to Nibiru, yo. He needs to like write your name down. Yo, use that fucking bird there, nigga. And you fly off there to meet who you're meeting with before you come to Earth or you're going to deliver some message of, yo, this is how the Sumerians recorded their shit. And what's turned into your biblical stories and your biblical prophets and all that stuff is really based on these supermen and shit. Yeah. And that's what resulted in the terms angels and demons. The good ones, yo, angels. The bad ones, yo, demons. Reptilians, greys, yo, demons. Even some of them black Riskians and that. Demons, like Nana Sin and stuff. Yeah? Tall white Nordics, pretty looking, yo, this nigga try to eat your ass or whatever. Yo, demon, I seen a demon, yeah? Beautiful, he appeared as an angel of light and all of this stuff here. They spooking you out with that Bible, this modern day Bible, the English and that. They spooking you out with that Arabic Fushal Quran, and they spooking you out with this Israelite Judaism bullshit. Yeah, and they want you to feel that Egypt is some pagan thing. Nah, they weren't on this religious shit. They were like, them niggas is aliens, yeah? And we they children. So nigga, we aliens too. We got superpowers and they knew that shit, yeah? Before Enlil started trying to come around here dumbing niggas down, yeah? So they into this Asian astronaut hypothesis and they invest money into it, like I told you with the Philadelphia experiment, Nikola Tesla, who was an alien himself, who admitted it himself and said he speaks to aliens, that's his family he's speaking to. Yeah, it might sound crazy, but research it and you'll see. I'm not even greetings, I'm not even gassing, I'm being serious, yeah. So these are what are called in the Aramaic, Proto-Hebrew of the Bible, Bena Elohim or Beta Elohim, the sons of the gods. And it's plural. Elohim. It's not Elo. Elo is single. Elohim, two E's M, that stretches it like if I put an S on the end of the word, of a word. So if I say Elohim, that means them gods, these supreme shining beings, them man. Yeah? So if I say Bena Elohim, the sons of them man, that's why it's sons, loads of the bastards. It's not just Jesus, you get me? These niggas is aliens, and they came down here and they said, yo, them women there, you know, this is long. I'm sleeping with these things here. This is my wife. That fallen angels give up their density and everything to come into this Sodom and Gomorrah type shit, yeah, and ruin the gene pool of the earth. Now, some of us are walking around here not knowing we have divine ancestry, especially if you got O negative blood, yeah. That's the original blood. So Russia, Baalbek, Russia in Siberia's got a bigger landing pad than Baalbek. The stones there, some of them are 3,000 tons, man. Baalbek tops out. The biggest stone there is like 1,600 tons. Russia, Siberia, that's landing site. That's got stones that's like 3,000 tons, fam. You understand what I'm saying? 3,000 tons. Then you got obviously sites like Nazca, the Nazca lines, all them sites in Peru, Göbekli Tepe. All of these, they're interested in all of that. They want to know all about that. Yeah. And like I said, it goes back to 1943 with the Philadelphia experiment. How these people, with the Philadelphia experiment, they started trying to study this thing too much till it backfired on them. Yeah. We can go through that another time. Yeah. But it backfired on them. It ended up nasty to the point where it jeopardized the planet. So because it jeopardized the planet, certain beings came from over the ice wall and came from hollow earth, yeah, what you want to call aliens. Now that's when this UFO thing first started taking out. We're not talking about Foo Fighters, the Nazis with their technology, reverse engineered technology, Foo Fighters in World War One and Two and shit. Yeah, even though there were UFOs in World War One and stuff too, because like I said, they're the watchers. They monitor everything, so things don't get too out of order. Like if they have to stop a nuclear missile, they'll turn it off just to keep the balance. This is like Galactic Council, but it's like a tug of war. Do you see what I'm saying? So when they did that Philadelphia experiment in 1943, that's a good study for you lot to do with Alfredo Bielik, yeah, and something Duncan, his pal, yeah. But when they went through that wormhole and now aliens have started coming to this world here, like what the hell's going on? You jeopardizing everybody's shit. Like this whole Nos Confunding map is pivoted on this known world. This is the one they can't lose. They got their foot on our neck here. Right? All this shit's, they have other shit going on around them. Yo, we gotta go there, but yo, don't take your foot off these niggas' neck. This is their prized possession because of what's in here for us humans. They don't understand it. They don't understand our connection with the source. They don't understand how we love like this. They don't understand why we're so fertile. They don't understand the human will. How our will is stronger than all of these niggas. Yeah, we don't give up. We have hope. We have faith. We have trust. You understand what I'm saying? Even though they've kicked us to the bottom and rendered us to 10%, still, they can't take away that God part in you. What they don't have, these cold fucking android, dracon, archon, demiurge beings, Greys, Markabians, yeah, Alpha Draconians, yeah, Zeta Reticulans, Andromedans, all these nasty, cold, distant beings, yeah. So they interested in all of these sites and the ancient gods and the stories of these ancient gods. They tell you, yeah, it's a myth. It's not a myth to them. They're throwing money into this shit and turning up and experimenting and with everything. They want to know everything. They're taking this shit away and hiding it from you. Yeah, you can go to church or mosque or synagogue. They go into their lab, yeah, into their underground dumbs, yeah, and they controlling you by running the countries and running all the businesses and running all the money and taking all the resources, while we out here with religious psychosis waiting on some fool to float down and save us. Yeah, we are the solution. We got to realize we got to stand up to this threat, this outside alien agenda. Yeah, because we don't have nothing to fear. They should fear us. That's why they censor us. Yeah. So places like Hebron, Jerusalem, obviously all them places in Turkey, the Tepe sites and that, Mesopotamia, yeah, the Anunnaki landing site, all the cities are like equidistant and laid out in a grid. So there's a landing path and stuff, yeah. all thought about, yeah. And then the setting up of groups like Majestic 12, yeah, that take over. Yo, this UFO shit, such a problem. We're gonna have a group that just deal with it, yeah. They above all the CIA and everyone. They just have to deal with the whole shit. Men in Black and all of that stuff there, yeah. Remember, this is just a pilot. I want to talk about all of these species individually and give you their story, give you the business of all of them, from the Pleiadians to the Rizkians to the insect beings, bird beings, the whole lot of them. What's their agenda? What's their history? Where's the evidence of them? You understand what I'm saying? All of that shit there. Yeah. Jerusalem. Yeah. So remember Roswell, sorry, the Philadelphia experiment was 1943, and a whole bunch of shit started going stale. And then now, 3 years later, 4 years later, in 1947, they find all these Gnostic tests, and this Roswell shit happens where they actually licked down one of these UFOs, these visitors from beyond the ice wall. They licked it down, took the technology, stole the fucking crystal. Them Greys needed that crystal, so a war started between us and the Greys now. And they've kept this buried for 70 years. Your government, my government, all the governments around the world saying, yo, we've been fighting these niggas because they want their shit back. So they putting it in the Men in Black and stuff with the girl wearing the necklace with the crystal thing in there. Yo, there was timeline wars and shit over that stuff there. They reverse engineered the technology, yeah, added it to what they learned from this project paperclip with the Nazis. They already had their knowledge on anti-gravity and stuff. Nowadays we got human UFOs like the TR-3B Astron, the Aurora craft and all this shit. This is not normal air technology. These black budget crafts that are using like nuclear fuel, anti-fucking gravity warp speed drives. Yeah, come off it. Yeah, and when they tell you, yo, these things can fly from here to Mars, you better believe it. People think, oh, we can't go outside the dome. No one's been outside the dome. Nigga, Admiral Byrd told you he's been underneath the wall. That's outside the dome, because our dome is only over this known world here. Once you've gone beyond the ice wall, nigga, you outside of the dome. So you don't necessarily have to go up there to get outside the dome. You can go to the fucking ice wall, find your path and go through it. Or go through like one of them mountains in the Himalayas where them Buddhists are and that. They got passages that lead, yo, that would take you so much under the earth by the time you come up. Nigga, you outside the dome, nigga. What are you talking about? Even the Giza pyramids and stuff. And that's why these secret societies are so interested in these spots. They go there and they find alien technology. They find Saddam, yo, my man found a Stargate. Or they found this in Kemet, all these tunnels and smaller chambers and fucking this Stargate with Osiris and stuff. They tell you it's a myth. Got us as black people out here arguing, yeah, what religion we're in, not knowing that this whole thing is an alien agenda, free for all, yeah. Yo, and it's time to wake up from this God delusion. Yeah, I don't care if you coming from Islam. I don't care if you coming with the Yahweh thing. I don't care if you coming with Christianity and the church and shit. Nigga, it's all the same. It's talking about aliens. Yeah, and they ain't our masters. We're our own masters, and we're at that point now where we need to realize that. Yeah. So now they're getting ready to run Project Bluebeam, which means that they will distract you from the real people who have come here to help you. They're going to focus you on grey aliens and all these reptilians and, yo, shit that you don't even have to fear. If you knew your power, enough of us, we wouldn't even have to have no war. We'll just have a willful, okay, I'm not playing no more. I'm not voting. I'm not going to work. I'm not doing nothing. I'm hooking up with my community and we're doing all our own shit. All of us. Imagine if everyone just said that. I'm not watching Hollywood. I'm not voting. I'm not paying taxes. I'm not paying bills. All of us is just going to fuck off. People that say, oh, that'll never happen. Oh, yeah, and that's why the world is like this. Because we tolerating this alien shit, which is anti-human. They want you to work yourself into the ground. They played with your telomeres. So we spark out at like 70 years old. We start getting grey. We start getting old. Nigga, they took 2 zeros off us. It's supposed to be 7,000 years. Do you understand? So they're going to run this Project Bluebeam with this hologram technology and convince a whole bunch of people, I say 2/3, yeah, that bastard, these aliens, they got anti-human agenda and you're under threat and now we all got to band together and we're going to do this law and national security and we're going to control the whole shit now. Because now it's aliens. Forget about terrorists. Nigga, aliens. So they preparing us for this. A war that involves aliens, and it was mentioned in the last World War. Yo, the next World War is going to be aliens involved. That's what was said. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's going to be, I can't remember which general said it. Said the next World War is going to be a Star Wars thing. Aliens will be involved in shit. And now the veil's down. We know ain't no space. Star Wars, nigga. Ice wall fucking wars. Yeah. So like we've gone through all what these extraterrestrials are called in all the different religions, Islam, Hebrewism. We're not going to go through all of that again. I'm going to wrap this shit up. Yeah. But this is what I mean about Donald Trump and them and the alliance and stuff. These are all like, it's like God and the Bible, the God and the devil. Like, it's the same character. It's the same being playing different roles. And so you should see Donald Trump and Joe Biden as one being. There can't be a Donald Trump without Joe Biden. There can't be a Joe Biden without Donald Trump. It's like Batman and the Joker. When the Joker tells him, yo, you need me, fam. You can't even be Batman without me. Yeah? You need me to fucking be Batman. And he just broke Batman like bastard. That's for real. But it's the same. God needs the devil. Tom needs Jerry. Tom can't kill fucking Jerry or else the show's over. So God can't kill the devil or else the show's over. So you're talking about the same being, this reptilian, draconian, humanoid being that's playing good cop, bad cop. Yeah? And it's the same throughout every scripture as to why God's killing humans. Yeah? Yo, I wiped out these people because they didn't pray to me. But he ain't never killed the devil. None of them. And then all these religions have all these different gods and different rules, but they've got the same devil. The devil's no different in none of these religions. He ain't got no different rules. They're talking about the reptilians. Yeah? They're talking about Alpha Draconian, serpent, snake. Yeah? And most of us can't even put that together. Like, hold on, they've been talking about the serpent since Genesis, at least. Yeah? Genesis 3, 1 to 16. Yo, the serpent in the garden. Yo, the reptilian, the Alpha Draconian, the Dragonian in the garden who ran up to Eve. Yo, what one, Eve? They told you right in these spoof books. Yeah? So now the custodians, yeah, like I said, in 1947 with this Roswell stuff, when they licked down Roswell, that coincided with them finding all these Gnostic texts, like the Nag Hammadi text and the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Book of Giants and the Book of Enoch, yeah? And then you put that with the Emerald Tablets, and all of these books are talking about aliens. You go over to the Mayans, they found all this stuff with these statues of aliens and shit, grays and stuff in the iconography, yeah? All around the world, these alien deities, these alien ancient gods. So they hid all that and gave you this modern day religion, Jesus, yeah, and Allah and Yahweh and all that stuff to hide away all of this. And so they can study this in the background, yeah? This is where all the technology and stuff comes from, yeah, with Tartaria and that. So Roswell was 1947, and they knew, based on what certain disagreeable aliens told them, you've literally got to the year 2030, and then, yo, these founder races, they're going to come back and have a war and try and take back this world. And they know they're not going to win that war. But because they're recalcitrant beings, they know, okay, we're already doomed. We're damned if we do or we're damned if we don't. So we might as well just do what we're doing and see how long we can prolong this shit, man, before this shit just peaks out. So they basically told them, yo, between 2000 and 2030 is peak. And then the next 10 years from 2030 to, 13 years from 2030 to 2042 or 2043 is peak. Certain things have to get wiped or reset. Yeah? Now you got all these people like Claude Schwab, Santa Claus, telling you about great resets where nobody will own nothing and these niggas has got bunkers. You got people building bunkers. Yeah, you got Taiwan and China and Russia and all these people on edge, like getting to war. You got America broke as a joke, broke as the Ten Commandments. Can't even pay off its how much debt was it? I can't even remember how much 100 trillion, 300 trillion, this, that, debt and that. You know, but you already know it's false debts anyway because it's in their own currency and it's in that same false ass currency. It's just an illusion. It's a show. Like I told you, they controlling all the strings, man. And so then now the last ditch is for them. Their media. I've been saying this since 2021. Yeah, when I was like, bastard, the media now is like their last leg because we nearly toppled it when the Epstein shit was going on. If you remember, so much was going on social media with this Epstein, adrenochrome, they live forever. Yo, The internet nearly broke and old media nearly broke till they had to start addressing it. And this QAnon, Chrome, adrenochrome, child sex traffic, yo, it nearly toppled the media. And they scrambled, and that's why they foreseen it with their looking glass, why they had that event 201 before the scamdemic kicked off, when they said, let's have a simulation. If we had a virus, this is how we tackle it, and this is how we tackle social media, and this, because their computers already foreseen this shit with their looking glass technology, their deja vu shit. So they prepared, okay, this is how we have to handle it. We'll call this scandemic. We'll lock everyone down. We do this, and this. Smart cities, blah, 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 blah. And now everything's totally changed. Like I told you in my book, Coronation, after this, the world will not be the same. It will never go back to, oh, the norms. People, remember when they stressing that word? We go back to normality, norms, normality, the norms, normality. So now this is your normality. This post-corona shit is your normality. Some young people, they ain't even never known a different world. They've come to their senses in this world. Okay, this is how it's always been. You wear a mask and shit. You take a dip for everything, and you know what I'm talking about. So this now, they banged it into your head. The norm, the norm, the norm, the norm. Ta-da! This is your norm. Like, it's magic. It's genie shit. You understand? And it's all to do with aliens, whether it's TV technology, smartphone technology, UFO technology, all your social systems, education, religion, politics, Hollywood, music. They took over literally control of everything. Just like your government wants to take over control of everything, stretch that over to aliens. Okay, yeah, we want control of this. What you eating? No, don't eat that. Only eat this. Here's this wheat. When you see these Anunnakis in the tablets giving certain men wheat and that, it's not always good. They changed our telomeres and shit and gave us different food and rendered us down, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Gave us these false ass foods and shit, GM foods and stuff, where people like Seb would say, yo, this shit ain't even natural, this coffee bean or whatever. Yo, they tricked us, man. Gave us a false history and the whole shit, and we think it's just a human thing. Yeah, we thought we was alone until this scamdemic happened now. Now aliens is an average discussion for loads of people. It's norm. Like, this world. Yeah. So I just wanted to speak about aliens a bit before I hit you niggas off with the presentation, because I felt like doing a double dose. So I'm not gonna dwell no more on this. I'm gonna use the same notes to record my presentation, and so there will be pictures. Obviously, I'm not gonna say the same thing because I still got quite a few bits of notes here. So I'll just start from here and just record this in my presentation. Yeah. But depending on how this does, when I pop it around, I may just start a little series where I start addressing some of these, I say, ice wall aliens now. They from beyond the ice wall. And as you can see with certain pictures, what you see in the presentation, we've got the pictures for certain surface worlds. So to us, it's not a planet no more. Mars is a surface world, just like ours. Certainly your Hollywood stars and shit, they get rewarded and get sent there. Yo, you did good, you know. You Nipsey Hussle or whoever. Yo, we're going to take your character out. We're going to send you. You're going to live till 300-400 years up. We spoke about this on Escape from the Chicken Farm. All that stuff's going on now. People like Admiral Byrd and that, all these weird pictures that are popping up, not only of Antarctica, but of these other worlds, wherever the hell they are, with all these weird beings and weird technology and crafts and shit in the thing. Yeah? So we're in a very strange time. I'm not going to go on like I know everything. Like I told you, we're all students and we sit at the feet of life. And we simply sharing notes. Yeah, because the best student is always going to remain, the best teacher is always going to remain a student. So like I say to you guys, invest, because you're not going to get this knowledge anywhere else with so many references for you to go and have a look and use your own discernment. You ain't got to believe a word that we're saying. All you've got to do is be brave enough to challenge your own beliefs, like who told you, when, why, according to who, yeah? And you take that and take what we've told you and go and research these gems and then bring that into your discussion in your circle. Okay, Mr. So-and-so, pastor or imam and that, why this, that or the other or not? Or can you explain this to me? Yeah, you ain't got to believe nothing. All you got to do is scrutinize everything. You don't have to believe a goddamn thing. You just got to scrutinize everything and don't be scared or feel guilty to scrutinize and to question it. If you love your soul, yeah, the essence, the most high inside of you, then you gotta, that's your responsibility to do that shit. And you've got every right to do it. For anybody who's trying to come tell you about where your soul's gonna eternally dwell in hell or fire or try and con you out, don't give up your divinity. Be smart enough to go and research that shit for yourself and confirm it for yourself. And you won't go wrong. Take away the fear. Yeah, Jesus is the only way and all that. We are the Christ consciousness. The return of Christ is us. Us returning to our senses, knowing that, hold on, all of us are holy beings. Yeah, we are the fucking cavalry. Yeah, we need to get back there. Not be, oh, reptilians, oh, greys, oh, jinn, demon. Nigga, fuck a jinn. That's how we supposed to be. Why I keep saying to you, these niggas is scared of me. They keep censoring me. Yeah? So let me get to this preview. I'm not going to address nothing here. Come to the presentation. What time is it now? It's 8 o'clock. I'm going to run it at 10 o'clock UK time. Yeah? Come and watch the presentation. Yeah? And any questions that you have from here, respect to the people who joined in here, bring them to the presentation, because I'll watch it live with you as a premiere. Yeah? And so I'll be able to answer you right there in real time. Yeah? Bring that to the discussion. Shout out to all of you who tuned in. Let me get out and get on with this thing, yeah? Peace.